experts and so on who are currently helping out with MACC. So we are helping to spearhead this effort in collaboration with MACC to, one, for them to have a transformation in their HR practices, one. Two is, of course, we've also doing this operational piece where we've tried to bring in some private sector forensic experts, forensic accounting experts who can help MACC look at or help them figure out what to look for when they go for corruption trials. Right? What to look for, how to look for it, how to go after it, how to get their strike rates better when they actually bring them to trial. Right? That's one thing. The other thing, I mean, I think someone, I don't know who it was earlier, who mentioned, we're saying that we're doing things. We're actually doing a number of things in, like, for example, you may not think much about it at face value, right? It's a name and shame database, right? A database that has all the convicted individuals for corruption. Right? This database is available on the MACC website. We've had that over the last 1 year. And the interesting thing is, over the last 2 months, we've had foreign embassies come to us and say, can we please have that database? Because now we're going to take that database and we're going to disallow those individuals from entering our country. So we respect what you have done, and therefore we're going to take it forward. So that's one thing. The other thing is, Parliament did pass the Whistleblower Protection Act last year, and today it is in force. What we are now trying to do is bring as much attention to the public to say that you can whistleblow, but please don't go to the media, don't go to, you can't, don't even come to me. There's a lot of members of public who call me up and say, look, I need to whistleblow, and I keep telling them, please, you can't tell me that, because I am not an enforcement agency. I can't give you the protection. But we are facilitating a lot of members of public, taking them to MACC and making sure MACC takes the case forward. We have that. We've also created specialized courts for corruption. We've got 14 specialized courts for corruption, just for corruption. And now we're trying to help train the judicial officials, right, to specialize them in corruption. So some of this actually takes time. But again, we totally agree that a lot more needs to happen on the grand corruption side. So things like what Transparency International has highlighted. It has been something that we have been working on, but it's not a low-hanging fruit. You've got to understand. We're still working on it, and I'm sure Dr. Sri Idris will also mention that later on today, that we are absolutely committed to getting into the grand corruption pieces and bringing out one or two of these further.
So is PEMANDU actually working on a federal FOI?
What is an FOI?
Freedom of Information.
I mean, PEMANDU is not an agency that works on things like that. Right? It should be coming from Attorney General and so on. But we have, for example, rather than just complete freedom of information, we say, okay, can we break it down? Are there steps that we can put in place that take us there, right? So can there be public consultation of future acts that are coming online? So that's something that we've been working on, right? It's got to move, right? But again, I hope to see some fruition, hopefully in the early in 2012.
Are there any notable anti-corruption efforts or working behind the scenes by PEMANDU?
See, the notable...
What has been implemented, like the database and whistleblower?
The notable one, as I mentioned, is, to me personally, it is what we do working with MACC. So this transformation effort, it's called MACC Transformation. To me, that is notable because what we are doing is we've brought, I can't get into the individual cases, right? But we've brought the capable individuals to MACC to say, here's private sector people You know, now can you take them and look at individual cases and say they bring private sector forensic accounting capabilities. They can tell, and most of this happens partially in the private sector as well, right? So basically they are able to say, okay, what document do you look for? How do you look for it? Where do you look for it? Where can you look for it? Right? Let's get that ability sharpened.
But I think the main problem, ministers keep brushing aside the TI report. Do you think that's a major problem?
Well, I don't think you'll see them brushing this aside. It is significant.
But they've been brushing aside every year before this, so why now?
I think this year you will see everyone acknowledging it's a wake-up call. It's something we all acknowledge, right? But again, as I said, it's mixed. Right? On the one hand, okay, something is happening on the petty corruption side, but we really have to get after the grand corruption. And I think later on today there will be a press statement by Dr. Sri Idris, and I think he will touch on some of that, right? Where the absolute commitment is there to address grand corruption.
Thank you.
Thanks.